Hey everybody, it's Stephanie with Yarnball Handmade Goods. My camera shakes so easily. It's like anytime I just put my hands down on my desk, it just like wobbles back and forth. I hope everybody has had a great week. So in this week's video, I'm gonna go ahead and show how to make a granny square. I love them. I use them constantly. I'm currently working on a cute little fall bag with these really pretty sunflower looking granny squares. It shouldn't take me as long as it has been to make this bag, but I've just been super busy doing other stuff. Once you know how to make a granny square, I feel like your options of projects that you can make totally just open up. You can make sweaters, pants, purses, hats, literally anything you can make with granny squares. Headbands, I mean, just about anything you can make with granny squares. And they're just such a classic crochet piece. I want to go ahead and show how I like to make my granny squares, and also how to make one with alternating colors if you want to make a multicolored granny square. So I'll definitely go ahead and show that. So I want to keep this intro short and sweet. I don't want to bore anybody. Let's do it. So we're going to go ahead and start making our granny square. I'm going to go ahead and pick out my hook. I think I'm going to go with a size, what do we got? I'll do a size 5.5 millimeter hook. That is a really good kind of middle ground sized hook. I always say that's like a 5 or a 5.5 millimeter size hook is really good for just learning how to crochet or learning how to do granny squares or anything, because it's not too big, not too small, it's easy to work with. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make our slip knot. You're going to wrap the yarn twice around your finger, pull the back loop forward, and then pull this back loop forward, and then pull that back loop up, and that's your slip knot. And then you're going to insert your hook and pull the working yarn, and that'll tighten it. The first thing you're going to do to make your granny square, you're going to go ahead and chain 4. You're going to yarn over, pull through, that's 1 chain, yarn over, pull through, that's 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, yarn over, pull through, and that's 4. So it'll look like that. And I did show in my, not my last video, but the one before that, where I teach how to make a few different crochet stitches. That explains how to do the slip knot, the chain stitch, and the double crochet. So if you haven't already watched that, I would definitely recommend watching that first, just to make this a little bit simpler. But I will briefly go over how to make a double crochet, because that's the only stitch we're really going to be using for this. So then, once you have your chain 4, you're going to insert your hook into the first chain at the bottom, and then we're going to slip stitch it closed to form a circle. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then pull through the second loop. And then you'll have this sort of circle on your hook. Now this part is very easy to accidentally insert your hook in the wrong space, because there is a little bit of a gap right there, but you want to go right in the center, in that little center hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. Now we're going to go ahead and insert into that middle hole I was talking about. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that middle hole, yarn over, pull through. We're doing our first double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And that's going to be our first granny cluster. Like I said, the chain 3 counts as the first double crochet, and then you're going to make 2 more, and that's going to count as the first granny cluster. So from here, we're going to go ahead and chain 1. And don't worry if that went a little quick for you. We're going to do the same exact thing a few more times. So you're going to do that chain 1, and that's going to help make a corner. And then we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that center hole. Just make sure to watch the tail. You want to keep that out of the way. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do the same thing 2 more times. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, if this is moving too quick for you, I highly recommend going back a couple videos and watching my video on how to do a slip knot, how to make a chain. We do single crochets, half double crochets, and double crochets. We have our second granny cluster all done, so we need 4. We have 2. We're going to go ahead and chain 1, do the same thing. We're going to do 3 double crochets, and then chain 1. And then the same thing, 3 more double crochets. So when you're finished, you'll have 4 sets of granny clusters. So to finish this round, you're going to chain 1 after that last set of granny clusters, and then you're going to look for the 3rd in that starting chain, the top chain right here, the 3rd chain. We're going to do a slip stitch in there. So we're going to insert our hook into that top chain. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. And that's the first round of your granny square. Since we're keeping the same color, we don't want to make more work for ourselves and cut our yarn and reattach it. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch our way over so that we can start our next round in the corner. So we're going to insert our hook into the top of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. And then we're going to slip stitch in this next one. And then finally we're going to slip stitch in the actual corner to get our hook there. And that's that. And you can't even tell that you did that. It just kind of blends in with everything. So now that we're in the corner, we're going to chain 3 and we're going to start our second round. The chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. So what we're going to do now is a little bit different. We're going to be forming our corners. And you'll see what I mean by that in a moment. So we're going to do 2 more double crochets and make our granny cluster just like we did before in the first round. And then we're also going to go ahead and chain 1 like we did before. But now, instead of hopping over to that next space, we're going to go ahead and do 3 more double crochets in that same exact corner. Two and 3. So now you can see where we have a corner. And we're going to continue to do that same thing in the last 3 corners until we get back to the start. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same set of stitches in each corner, and I'll meet you back at the end. I'm in my last corner, so I'll show you what to do here once I finish this up. Just gotta do 1 and my last one. Alright, so we're literally just going to do what we did before. And we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. So insert your hook there, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. And now you can see you've got this beautiful granny square forming. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slip stitch our way into this corner. So we'll do one here. And one here. And then in the corner. And then we're going to chain 3. That counts as the first double crochet. So you're going to do your corner, which is the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. This is what we're going to do the rest of the time for our granny squares. So we have our corner. So now we have this middle hole. So we're going to go ahead and just do 3 double crochets. Easy enough, right? 3 double crochets. And now we're going to do our corner. And we're going to do that same pattern. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every round that you want to add. There's always going to be 4 corners, obviously, but you're going to have more of these middle gaps where you're going to put your 3 double crochets in. So my camera decided it wanted to die, so we're just going to kind of pick up from where we are. I think I got a little more done from where I left off. But anyways, it's literally the same thing over and over again, so it's fine. So we're just going to finish up this round of the granny square. I'm going to go ahead and continue my 3 double crochets in the corner. And then the chain 1. And then we're going to do 3 more double crochets in that corner. Also, Meatball is eating her dinner. She's munching, so you might hear that. You have the option to go ahead and do extra chains if you want, if you like the way that looks better. So where I did 1 chain here, you could have put 2. It would have made the corner a little bigger like that. And then from here, before you go into that center gap, you could chain 1 and then start, and then it would just make this gap a little bit bigger. Personally, I like it better without the extra chains. I just kind of like that tighter, more close together look of the stitches in a granny square. I don't like them as, with as many gaps in between. So we're going to finish up our final set of 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain, the top chain, in that chain 3 that we started with. And that is literally it. That is a granny square. From this point, we'll go ahead and cut our yarn. You're going to fasten off, so you're going to pull through. So we're going to weave our tails in now that we're done. However, I do want to show how to attach a different color, because obviously once you know how to make a granny square, you're gonna want to just use all the colors. So there's our granny square. That's so cool. I fucking love granny squares. Seriously, like literally almost everything I make has granny squares in them. So yeah, they're super easy. It's literally just double crochets. Once you get to that 3rd round, you're just repeating that the whole entire time until it gets as big as you want it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into attaching another color. I'm going to go ahead and use this darker tealish blue color that I have. I'm also going to continue to use my size 5.5 hook. Go ahead and do another slip knot. Make it however you prefer. That's how I like to make it. We're going to have the slip knot on our hook. And then you can honestly attach your new color wherever you want. You can go in any of these gaps and attach it. Personally, I just like to go right into the corner. I feel like it's just easier. So what you're gonna do to attach the new color is you're gonna slip stitch the new color on. So you're gonna insert your hook in the corner, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And that's it, it's on there. So now you're just gonna do exactly what you were doing before. You're gonna chain 3. That's gonna count as your first double crochet. So we'll do 2 more double crochets. Then you're gonna chain 1, and then do the other 3 double crochets in that same corner. And then you're gonna do your 3 double crochets in this space next to it. So now we have this other space. Since our rounds are getting bigger, we're gonna have an additional space added in each round. So now we have to do 3 double crochets in this space. Meatball is now playing with her toy, so you're probably gonna hear her mouse jingling around. And then we're gonna go back into our corner, do our 3 double crochets, and then our chain 1, and then our 3 double crochets in the same corner. And you're just gonna do that same thing all the way around till we get to the end again. So 3 double crochets in this space. And then 3 double crochets in the next space. And then I'm going to do our corner. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this up, and I will meet you at the end. Alright, so now that we're at the end, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch in this top of the chain 3. And then we're going to fasten off and weave in our tails. Congratulations if this is your first granny square or you've tried a couple and you're just trying to get better at them. You can do so many amazing projects with granny squares. I absolutely love them. So I hope that this tutorial was a big help for you. I hope that you're able to learn something with this granny square video. I hope that this is going to inspire you and just open a lot of doors to start making some really cool new projects. Like I said, you can literally make so many different things with granny squares. The options and the opportunities are just endless. leave me a comment letting me know what you plan on making now that you know how to make a granny square. Please go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Yarnball Handmade Goods. Feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. I also did just go ahead and release my first pattern. It's for my Sunny Cinched floppy bucket hat up on my Etsy currently, so I'll go ahead and link my Etsy down below if you're interested in checking out my new pattern. It's my first pattern ever, so any support is seriously so appreciated. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial on how to make granny squares, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!